Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Great that you're here. It's a new week, new day. Sun is out for once. Wow, amazing. We're going to talk a lot in this one about wallets. Today, Mentoring Mondays, wallets, why they are so important, what you need to know. And ultimately, I'm pretty much a bugbear on wallets and security due to my military background. And I want to talk through a lot of things that I do personally and a lot of things that you should be aware of. Now, I do not think there's enough information in terms of video format for wallets, wallet safety. They're very, very brief. They're very, very basic in terms of, oh, just buy a Ledger, oh, buy a Trezor, or buy whatever hardware wallet. But I want to talk about elements and procedures that you also need to abide by and be very, very wary of what you do online, especially if in the next 5 years something happens with cryptocurrency, goes up a lot of value wise, and you're holding it insecurely and you could become a target. So if you're new to cryptocurrency, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button really hard, and give this a big thumbs up and comment it and share it all around the world, because I want as many people to see this video so they are safe in the long term. Let's enjoy it, let's get into it, and I'll see you in a second. So let's talk about wallets. Why are these so important? Now, a lot of people speak to me about wallets and what they should do. I mean, the Telegram group that I've got is nearly at 500 members now. Ultimately, that's growing nicely, but a lot of people do come to me privately and go, right, what wallet do you use? I use a Ledger. I use a few Ledgers. I don't just use one. Now, let me just get one out. I've got one here, okay? Fully fledged Nano Ledger. Nano Ledger S, even, not the new model. So I'm not fully up to date, but it's secure enough. I mean, it's pretty much bang on, really. But the fundamentals of a wallet, you need to understand that, and people don't understand that. If it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin. If it's not your keys, it's not your Ethereum. Every cryptocurrency that you hold in an exchange is not yours. Newsflash. They are hot wallets. What is a hot wallet? Hot wallets are connected to the interface of the ecosystem within the system, on the internet, basically. So, you access Binance on the internet, okay? Every single wallet that they have is basically a big, massive pool. You just chuck your money in. Yes, it's kind of linked to you, i.e. your username. You have X amount of Bitcoin in that wallet to you to trade with. Yeah, makes sense? However, if anything goes wrong with that Bitcoin, if anything goes wrong with that exchange, if it's malfunctioned, if it's offline, you cannot access it. Also, we're seeing this week, last week, whatever happened now with Binance, they got hacked. Now, how did they get hacked? Now, I want to talk about stuff like that throughout this video. So, this video will be long. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. API keys is a big thing. I want to talk about wallets in terms of what you should be doing and how you should be trading if you're a trader, how much you should be risking on an exchange and when to take profits. You should not be trusting any exchange that is centralized. That is an honest fact. Why? Well, they're controlled. It's centralized. If you're going to trade, you've got to trade on decentralized areas or with a wallet that is got cold wallet safety features within it, so it cannot be taken away from the exchange. These are big factors, and I've got a really good one in terms of leverage trading that you may not be aware of yet that has a cold wallet system. It's really, really good. So what does that mean? Well, it's not connected to the interface of the internet. It's away from it, so it can't be compromised in a way. It can be if you yourself are hacked or you hold a gunpoint. Obviously, things like that could happen, but with you not being there, it's a lot harder. So let's talk about it all. Now, in the terms of a hot wallet, I've already mentioned it, it's like hot potato. You do not hold the access rights to them. Anything that you put on exchange, it is not yours, okay? You do not hold the private keys. You need to be understanding what a private key is. A private key is unique to you. It is a spiel of numbers or characters, whatever, and that links to your wallet. It links to everything that you have. It allows you to get access. Simple as that. It's like a PIN number of a card. It's like an address. It's like an email address, password, whatever. it gives you that parameter right that you hold it. The difference with this and hardware wallets is you've got an encrypted hardware wallet that has private keys hidden within it. You cannot abstract or see them. The only way you can get hacked with a hardware wallet if someone kidnaps you. That's as easy as it is. Obviously, that happens in real life. We know that. But there's steps to take to allow you not to have that, and I'm going to go through them throughout this video. So, Binance got hacked due to API keys, phishing links, and two-factor authentication. What does this mean to the normal human? There's companies out there that use API keys. They allow read-only access to allow you to read the blockchain for services. So for example, taxation, you can get into services what they'll read your trades if you're in America to see what your profits were to calculate your tax for that year. That's one reason. There's also alert systems and trading signal systems where they will sync to the Binance exchange. They'll go to the data point of the API key and you can sync your account, so it'll read only. If those keys, or API keys essentially, are compromised, it means that they can change that read-only access to all access. And it means that they can get access to your withdrawal account. So simple as that. All they have to do is go to funds, withdraw. Cool. Awesome. And the beautiful thing about it is they could easily do it because there'll also be elements of phishing involved there. If they have phished you, in terms of you clicking on a dodgy link, so you can click on any link and it'll have a backwards kind of access point into your computer, and it can kind of allow them to get access to the withdrawal emails and stuff like that. So it's very, very easy in a way to do it by just being careless. And a lot of people are on Telegram. There are a lot of people that do click on certain links that they shouldn't be clicking on, so you always have to be very, very careful. Now, in terms of some stuff that you need to be fully aware of, do not show your net worth online. That's rule number one. I don't. No one has a clue how much crypto I own. No one has a clue. None. So, other things that you need to be aware of. Do not hold your private keys or your recovery phrase in the same place. Have them somewhere else, at a different place, in a safe, somewhere else. I have mine off my property, not even close to it. Works very, very well. No one has a clue. So, if for some stupid reason I decide to kick my ledger out the window and I want to recover it, I've got a recovery phrase somewhere else that all I have to do is put in the numbers and then it downloads it back for me. Easy as that. Simple. If that happened to Binance and someone kicked your wallet out the window in Binance, for example, or someone pressed the delete button or the send button on the wrong thing and it went completely balls up, could happen. Imagine if that happened. Probably unlikely, but you know what I mean? You can have access again to those keys, those access points of your ledger. So, let's talk about a few things. Now, I've rambled on a lot. It's going to be a lot of stuff, so I do apologise. It's going to be a long video, so get comfortable. Now, the first point of call that you need to look at getting is if you're holding any crypto, get a hardware wallet. Simple as that. The Nano S, I love it. It's like the best thing ever. The Nano X, I'm not really that blown away by it. Yes, it's different. It's a bit better. It's better storage. But it does the same thing. It's no different really. It's just got bigger memory and it looks a bit neater. That is as simple as that. Now, there's a link below if you want to get involved in this. Now, in terms of other rules that you need to follow. Okay. Do not buy these second hand. People do. They're idiots. Don't do it. Do not buy them from Amazon, because they are not from a certified, verified freaking place of source. You can go on Amazon and you can buy them from, say, Amazon and Prime. Yes, that's not too bad. I would probably risk it for a chocolate biscuit if it was sealed. However, you can buy from various different places, different people, all kinds of random people, second-hand stuff as well if you're not very careful on Amazon. It's not worth the risk. Just go on the Nano website and just buy it from the correct place, the factory essentially, the real shop floor. Don't cut corners for the sake of saving $5. It's not worth it. And these are really cheap, honestly. I've read reviews about these and people say that they're expensive. Oh, I can't afford it. I don't want to buy that. It's nothing. It really is absolutely nothing. I just cannot get my head around people not wanting to spend a little bit of money on wallets of safety. If you're holding one Bitcoin and you've got it on an exchange and you're unwilling to just buy a hardware wallet so it's cold, so it goes completely cold. I'm going to talk about cold wallets in a minute. And it's kind of what I just don't get it. So this is a cold wallet. A cold wallet is where it's totally off the internet, it's off the ecosystem, it's off the whole area where it cannot be seen. Yes, it's on the blockchain, it's all verified and stuff, but no one's got access to it. That in there, in my little container there that I've got, is kind of like untouched to the world. No one can go, I'm going to hack you, la 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 la. It's impossible because I've got the key phrase in my head, I've got it right there. I'm a big bugger as well, so you have to wrestle it off me. So it's one of those things where they can't get it. Whereas if it's sitting on any exchange, it's at risk. Does that make sense? So cold wallet services situations better. And even though these are not the most secure in the world, I'm going to tell you about the most secure wallet in a minute. Hard to believe, but it is the next best thing. It is honestly something that you should do, and ultimately, just safety procedures are obvious. They are really obvious. Do not share all the stuff online. Do not be this Instagram wannabe. Oh, look at my Bitcoin. Don't be an Ian Bellina who got hacked on a live stream because he held his private keys in a note on his desktop. What a dick. That's what happens when you listen to influencers who try to be the big bollocks. Oh, look at my Instagram portfolio. Look at my... On Twitter, he used to post his portfolio. No wonder he got hacked for like 3 million. Obvious. So, never ever do it. Ledgers are probably the best. However, there's risks involved with phishing, right? Why? With phishing, anyone can just send an email, put their branding on it, and now it happened with Trezor. Sorry, get my words out. This is the next best thing to a ledger, in my personal opinion. It's the same thing. It's just a different brand, different look, and different cool stuff. It's got encrypted private keys within it. What happened recently with these guys is there was a phishing email going around. You clicked on it. It said, do an operating system kind of update. Once you clicked on that, they had access. In their, which was really annoying, in their key phrase element, which you shouldn't have anyways, when you're doing any sort of firmware update, you shouldn't have to put in any of your key phrases. A key phrase is where it's a cycle of numbers or random words like sausage, burger, chips, beans. It's like random words that is uniquely characterized for that device. They asked for them, said people give them, and then they can just basically download the data off the verified device onto their device, and then they can access it and withdraw. That's the biggest problem with it. So any sort of links that randomly come to your email address going, oh, you should update, just ignore them. Honestly, they will not be prompting you. They will tell you in the security on the website that they do not prompt you to do an update via email. It is on the system itself. So you plug in your device, it will come up naturally. But anything that comes up with saying, oh, please confirm your key phrases, you just go, no. It's the same for airdrops, it's the same for elements like that. If a company asks for your private keys, you just click the X button and close it completely. You just do not touch it. But you should also be looking at using offline modes, and on Brave, for example, you can use TOR, and it's basically, it's an extra layer of cloaking essentially. So if you go onto, say, Brave browser, I think if you just go onto, say for example, a new tab, private window with TOR, it's simple as that. Just look at using this and it will kind of help you in certain elements of research. It will help you in certain elements of any sort of like kind of anything you want to hide. Certainly if you're looking at using the likes of MetaMask and other elements like that, which we're going to get onto now. MetaMask is the kind of thing where you've got to access it through a device of a browser, which is not as secure, but it also has encrypted private keys within it. You can use this. Now, it's the same for the other ones that I'm going to mention in a minute, but this is like, if you're really lazy and you just do not want to buy a ledger, you can use this, but personally speaking, I wouldn't want to trust it with the element that if your laptop, for example, completely goes malfunctioning, like completely just blows up in front of you, you've got no more access unless you've got another device that you can use and you've also saved your private keys. The difference with this is you've got to abstract your private keys from the device, okay, when you're setting it up. That's the biggest problem with it. You need to go offline. You need to really go offline and go into offline mode to abstract that completely and put it into somewhere that you know is safe. Now, the best safety place, would you believe, is paper. And I mentioned, what is the most secure wallet? It's actually a paper wallet. Why? If you're abstracting any sort of keys offline, it's never touched the internet, never been seen by a computer. And what people tend to do is just use the old function of copy and paste. They go, oh, copy. I will paste that into a note on my computer and I'll leave it on my desktop like Ian Bellina, or on the phone as a note. Very, very risky to do. I wouldn't advise it. Now, ultimately, that is why I use a nano ledger, because my private keys, I cannot see them. No one can see them. It's the personal idea about it. So, you need to write down your keys on a bit of paper and put it somewhere very, 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 very safe. Duplicate copies in different areas if you can, and also in an element of safety, like a safe or in a bank deposit box, whatever. Somewhere you can physically go to and you know that you only have access to it. So that brings me to the element of the next bit. Now, you got MyCrypto and you got MyEther wallet. These are ERC20 sort of wallets where they're on the internet, they're on the blockchain, but this is an access point to that blockchain. These are again called wallets. They're on the ecosystem in terms of, you can see them on MyEtherScan, whatever, but you have to sync it up with elements of devices. For example, a Ledger Nano, a Trezor, MetaMask, and other devices that are also, like, you can use. So in terms of what you can use all the hardware wallets, you can use all the bits and pieces that you want. As long as you've got access to the keys, you can access Mu. Now, the biggest problem with Mu is you can also access, if I click on access here, there you go. If you click on access here, there's other elements that you can use. This is the worst one you can use. You can use your file store, your private key, or your phrase. You have to have that somewhere easily accessible so you can type it in. That's the risky one. So you've got MetaMask, obviously it holds your private keys. Hardware wallets, for example, Ledger, the Trezor, the Bybot, the Finny, etc. And then you've got Mu Connect, where it's synced to your phone. Now, the phone is the device that I don't like as much, because anyone can take your phone, anyone can do anything they want with their phone, which is kind of the issue. But you need to understand that you've got to be really, really secure with your elements of cryptocurrency, but you also need to be practical. For me, you wouldn't be using Mu out and about anyways. You'd have a hot wallet ready to go if you're looking to spend money. Personal opinion, you would be using it on your phone, because you've got that at risk. You're going to use that in a shop somewhere in the future. Oh, a cool QR code, off you go. You will not want to be syncing up your your longer term holdings from Mu to go and spend in a shop. You just wouldn't do it. So just be careful of what you're doing. Now, personally, I always recommend the hardware wallet first. It's obvious. It's really, really obvious. Why? If you're holding long term and you want to offer the exchanges, Mu is great for your ERC20 tokens. So is MyCrypto. They're both the same pretty much. Run back well. This person here disappeared from Mu, but I've always held on Mu. I just like it. It's nicer. It works very, very well. And you've also got Bitcoin wallets here that you can use in terms of computer-based software, essentially. So Electrum is probably the best. Again, cold storage, it's all kind of decentralized and all that good stuff, but it has a few underlying issues. Simple, really. You've got to have a standalone computer essentially to have these on. Somewhere nice and safe, somewhere you can also store the private keys, all that good stuff. You've got to understand that. And like anything, it's always going to be an issue if you cannot access this, if you've lost your private keys. You must keep your private keys, but it does work very well. It's probably the most secure out there in terms of if you use it correctly. But ultimately, you've got to have the knowledge to understand how these all work. And Electrum is probably one of the best for Bitcoin. All the documentation there, you can just go along and read it. There's a lot to read. There's a lot to know. There's a lot of information. But you've got to understand it's all about the code within this and how you can set it up and do this, that, and the other. It's pretty interesting. But if you are just holding something simple, just get a hardware wallet. It doesn't matter if you're holding 100 Bitcoin or 2. A hardware wallet with good security is just as sufficient. Obviously, remember, keep your secure assets secure. Do not put them on exchanges. And when you're trading, guys, right? Only trade a percentage of your wealth that you're willing to risk on an exchange. Do not go, oh, I've got 100 Bitcoin, I'll put all my 100 Bitcoin on the exchange. You wouldn't do that. You've got to put an element of what you're willing to risk, just in case something really goes wrong or you lose your money. Okay, simple as that. Now, let's talk about wallets on your phone. In my personal opinion, this is probably the best on the market at the minute. As weird as that sounds. Why? Now, not many people have heard of this one, but in my personal opinion, I think this is the best in terms of like what it is. It's got a lot of security layers within it. Now, I know Samsung's bringing out a wallet. It also got hacked very quickly because of the thumbprint. This doesn't have a thumbprint. This has a ledger style system where it's a pin code. It's a lot easier to kind of manage and also a lot harder for people to hack. This is just a very simple smart wallet. You hold the keys to this. It's a multi-chain kind of element. And this is a sort of one that if you're looking to, I wouldn't say put your life holdings on this by far. No, do not do that. But if you're looking to use this as a payment solution, as in I want to spend a little bit of money out and about in the shops, Ethos is a more secure way of doing it than using the likes of your Coinbase app, for example. Okay, why? You hold the private keys for a start. 2, it's got a better functionality in terms of a key phrase, in terms of you actually getting access to your wallet via username, password, and a pin code access. So it's a lot harder. Whereas with the likes of Coinbase, you can just do it with a thumbprint or just click open on the app and off you go. It's really, really simple. So for me, this would probably be the best one in terms of a very simple kind of, you own the private keys. That's the main element of it. Now, obviously, it works in that way that you can take it out and about, you can on the go. Oh, I can access my wallet, off go. A multi-wallet. So if you're looking to pay in Ethereum, you can pay in Ethereum. If you're looking to pay in Bitcoin, whatever. All the kind of elements of coins that are on here works well. So that's kind of wallets. Now, in terms of trading, I'm going to get onto now very, very quickly before this goes on for too long. You need to be very, very careful what you're doing. Like, honestly, I cannot stress enough of importance of understanding that if it's not your private keys, it is not your cryptocurrency. Simple as that. All the stuff that I've given you there, obviously, you can hold the private keys. That's the main aim of this video. If you're getting involved in the likes of Cloud Token or a scam element like that, BitConnect, oh, you hold your money in this wallet, it'll grow for you. You do not hold the private keys. If you do not hold the private keys, or you do not have an element of, like, sort of, insurance, essentially, that, okay, if something goes wrong, I can access it. It's not your Bitcoin. Simple as that. Now, Coinbase is probably a good alternative if you're brand new. The main reason why is because it's insured. If it is hacked, as in the company itself, not you, the company is hacked, it is insured. So, say for example, what happened with Binance the other day. If that happened with Coinbase, they've got an insurance on it. But luckily, Binance also had some sort of backup just in case. But ultimately, if you're looking at trading, I recommend Bybit. Why? It has a cold wallet feature, and a link below if you want to get involved in Bybit if you leverage trading. Leverage trading is good because you don't have to risk as much. You can obviously use leverage. Yes, it is riskier to trade on leverage platforms, but ultimately it has a cold wallet system. Keeping your funds safe with our cold wallet system. I'm not going to read the big words. Goodness me, I'd make a complete mess of myself. But this kind of means that each wallet is cold, so it's used at the point of usage in terms of until you trade. That is good because it makes it harder to be hacked, and a lot of the wallets in terms of exchanges need to have that. As I said at the start of the video, most wallets are hot. They're all connected up, ready to go, and they're vulnerable at some point in their life, and you've got to take it carefully. Now we've just came out of a bear market pretty much, and yeah, the prices are low, but you would kick yourself if you were careless with say for example you lost 10 Litecoin, right, as an example, because you were careless in terms of what you did with your exchanges. You've lost all your rights to it. Oh, it's just sitting there, it's floating around now, you can't get access to it. You'd kick yourself if that was worth $1,000 in the next 3-4 years, wouldn't you? You would. You wouldn't kick yourself now if you can, it's only 10 Litecoin, but you would kick yourself. Look at the guys that remove their private keys off their computers and bin them, and they're like, oh, Bitcoin's worth nothing, I don't really care about it anymore. Now look, Bitcoin with the 20k ones. It was worth a lot of money. Those landfill sites, I've got Bitcoin all over them. You just need to go and find them. So there we go. Long video, I know. Wallet safety is paramount. It's not a step-by-step guide by all means. It's just giving you an idea of where you need to go and what you need to do. Do not sync up API keys. Do not open stupid emails and click on links. Do not click on any sort of links on Twitter or Telegram that's going to make you rich. It's impossible. And they're probably going to get access to your crypto at some point. So there you go. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe.